And welcome back to Safeguarding Government Employees, sponsored by Concur on federalnewsradio.com and 1500 AM. I'm your host, Larry Allen. As we continue our conversation today on the topic of safeguarding government employees, I'm now joined by Cameron Anderson. Cameron is Senior Director of Product Development at Concur. Cameron, welcome to you to today's segment.
Thank you. Well, good to be here.
We talked a little bit with Adam about some of the initial issues that are governing employee travel in the federal market as federal travel reemerges as an actual viable thing. For the tech types out there, though, talk to us a little bit about the technology. What platforms have you developed that enable today's federal workforce to work efficiently? Cloud-based solutions, Cameron, for example, are very popular in government right now, as are security solutions, as I'm sure it's something that your clients discuss with you regularly. How do you all respond when a client has risk management, data safeguarding, and cloud concerns? There's a lot in there.
There definitely is. And cloud provisioning of software and software as a service has been something Concur has been doing for the past decade. It's fundamental to our business and is demanded by our customer base today. As such, we serve all of our customers worldwide using cloud-based solutions. And that does present its security issues. And we have customers in the banking industry. We have huge multinational companies that do operations in hundreds of companies, as well as the federal government and foreign governments. And all of these customers demand that their data be secure, but yet be accessible to those who need their data. And the cloud provides an excellent way of making all this happen.
Have you found that your federal customers are going more and more to a cloud-based solution? That's been a big issue in the federal IT market generally.
Absolutely the case. With the advent of the new ETS2 contract that went out, 70% of the civilian federal government uses a Concur solution called Concur Gov. And that risk messaging platform for government follows the same security guidelines as is used for Concur Gov and is built on a similar cloud infrastructure.
As we referenced a little earlier, another top 5 federal IT focus area in addition to cloud is mobile. What can Concur offer to federal clients who have a spread out workforce but must have the capability to still operate as a team?
Well, mobility and the utilization of mobile devices is a huge focus at Concur and has been for the past several years. Our customer base has demanded that we facilitate the use of mobile devices because that is becoming the device of choice for the user to use. One of the challenges that we see, however, is in the federal government, they're a bit behind their commercial counterparts in terms of adopting mobile devices for day-to-day business use. This has many reasons, fundamentally lack of security procedures and policies that can help support and facilitate it. As such, we see, and we're pushing our federal customers to adopt mobile solutions more. And as they grapple with those security issues and resolve them and are able to provision designated applications in a secure app store, for example, and things like that, then they're able to adopt and use mobile applications more readily. As an example, in the risk messaging space.
Have you seen cyber issues, cybersecurity specifically, be a top issue when you all go and call on clients and work with ongoing customers?
Absolutely. It's kind of a hurdle you have to meet when you go into the room and meet with customers initially. There's a certain threshold depending on the market, depending on the geolocation of that particular customer and what markets they serve. There are specific things that each customer needs, and the federal government, of course, is no different in that respect.
Right, and in terms of the federal government, a lot of people tend to look at the federal government as one customer, but Cameron Anderson, my guest here on this segment today, let me ask you this final question. Difference between the defense marketplace and the civilian agencies?
The defense marketplace is more consolidated than the civilian agencies. The civilian agencies, even though there's a single contract that the GSA let, the ETS2 contract, you actually deal with each individual agency as a customer, and you have to grapple with their security constraints, their functional differences that they want to have. In the DoD, it's a little bit more consolidated, being under one head, one chief, if you will, and they have a more consolidated, though much more complex, travel accounting environment.
So different complexities depending on different customers. The key is to understand what each customer segment needs from you. Cameron Anderson's been my guest on this segment today of Safeguarding Government Employees. Cameron, thanks for being on. We're going to take a short break here. We'll be back in a moment on Safeguarding Government Employees, sponsored by Concur. I'm your host, Larry Allen, and you're listening to federalnewsradio.com and 1500 AM.